What is up, guys? Good morning, at least here from North Texas. It is a very good morning to y'all. Happy evening for, I guess it's starting to be evening. Happy evening, does that make sense? Good evening for you guys out in Europe out there. Dougal McTavish, special shout out to you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I know you're doing some recovering there from the chemo, and I know about that battle, man. I've had a lot of family members deal with that, so my prayers go out to you, Dougal. I hope you feel better. Hopefully we can distract you here with a little Phenom flying, maybe some synthetic vision here into Telluride. Anyways, it's glad to see you in the chat. From the bottom of my heart, man. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Christian, Adrian, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Slam Cannon, Al W, DFW in the house. What is up, good sir? Good to see you. Man, it's been a beautiful couple days of weather out here in Texas, hasn't it? Aaron Hastings, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Cactus 1549, what's going on, man? Need a fueler? I fueled Embraer jets. You know it, Cactus 1549. I could have used your help the other day there when we were trying to get the fuel panel figured out, but I think we got her now. Hopefully we don't run out of gas this time. Christian, yeah, 6 p.m. for you out there. Yeah, I know, I always get caught up. I say good morning, but it's a global show, right? So, global show hosted here out of North Texas. But, guys, today's going to be a fun one. It's a shorter flight, but we're going to be going into Telluride, Colorado. So for those of you who don't know Telluride, it's a very high-altitude airport, high terrain, pretty dangerous to fly in and out of there. I've flown in there personally in a couple corporate jets, so I'm intimately familiar. I wouldn't say intimately familiar anymore. It's been years since I've been there in real life, but going in there is a no-joke flight planning, no-joke contingency planning. I actually know somebody who lost their life going into Telluride in a corporate jet back in the day. So it can get you, if you don't bring your A game into Telluride, it definitely can come around and bite you in the butt. So we're going to try to, since it's a shorter flight en route, we're going to kind of slow things down. I'm going to explain things a little bit more. I've had some requests to kind of just go over some G1000 stuff. There isn't really a lot of G1000 stuff on the Phenom here, which, it's a base G1000, so I can at least give you some basics and kind of how to operate transponder and things like that. But I'm going to try to take my time as we pre-flight this airplane, get it ready to go up to Telluride. The sun is setting. We are sitting here in the Salt Lake City Jet Center. I got the V1 logo on the door right now, and let's go ahead and just pop this thing open. Look at these animations. God, I love it. We're sitting on ground power right now. I did verify that my air rack was up to date and current, so we are going to go over that. We'll go over the flight plan and proper gas this time, says Keith B. But you know it, man. So I've actually spent, we got X Enviro running. We're going to see, hopefully the frames don't kill us right now. I know I'm running 34 FPS right now. I want to use the X Enviro if I can because of the snow-covered terrain and stuff out there. So we're going to try to rock it, although the weather is pretty much clear, which is beautiful. That's what we need, especially going into Telluride at night. But yes, here we are, Salt Lake Jet Center. I do have spent quite a bit of time here in the Jet Center. So let's hop into the airplane. Clears Rack Fubar, what's up, man? Made it. Hey, V1, good to see you, Fubar. Welcome to the stream. Shout out to all the members that tuned in last night for a little V1 After Dark live. V1 After Dark live. We did a little live stream. Again, I just can't get enough of this airplane, so it's good to hang out with you guys after hours. So let's go ahead, and first thing I want to do is I'm going to come in here and we're going to get the flight plan loaded up, and then we're going to look at fuel planning and contingencies and things like that. So I do have our Salt Lake to Telluride flight plan right here. We're going to be shooting the RNAV approach in there. I think we're going to be landing runway 9. That's what the winds are favoring right now. So I wanted to, here we go. Here's our route of flight. Victor 84. Oh man, we got to put in all the waypoints. That's only a few. So in the G1000, there's the biggest thing that I can tell you when you're operating a G1000 is there's going to be multiple ways to access the same menus and sub-menus from multiple different screens. So this system is a true multi-function display. I mean, you can access barrows from probably 3 different settings in the G1000 itself. I'm going to just try to show you the most basic way to access certain things. And we're going to start with the flight plan. So when you get into the Phenom in particular, you have your engine page, or not your engine, just kind of a status page here. When you see this on the bottom, this is a declutter. DCLTR, you wonder what that is. It just means declutter, and I'm going to declutter the screen there, give myself a larger screen. Also, when I'm flight planning, I like to minimize my engine instruments. So I come over here to the EIS, which is the engine indicating system. I'm going to go ahead and press that, and now I've kind of shortened it up. Now I have maximum view here for my G1000 flight planning. Also, initially, when I put in a flight plan, I don't like to see the terrain because, or I'm sorry, I don't like to see the topography because I think it's harder to see the route. So I turn topo off, and now I have just a black background, and it's easier for me to see my route. And whenever you want to navigate back, you just hit the back button here. So you can see I'm decluttered to 1. I can declutter level 2. I can even declutter level 3. And all that does is it's removing certain items from the map. So it removes airspace, it removes VORs, it removes airports, or you can just have everything on. You can see we have waypoints on there. We have a compass rose. We've got a bunch of additional information that I don't really need right now. So in reality, you can go all the way down to declutter 3, but I like to see the airport when I'm doing my flight plan. So I got declutter 2 on, and I changed my base map function here. So you're going to see this is your topo. I just turned the topo off, and now you have a nice black screen to work with, and you can really see the overlay of your flight plan as you're planning stuff in. Captain Shaquille Oatmeal, welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you on. This should be a fun one. Niels Christensen, what is up, man? Good to see you here. Welcome to the stream, man. All right, now the Phenom in particular has a really handy-dandy keyboard down here. Some of the G1000s, such as in the 172s or maybe even some other light jets that don't have the keypad functionality, you have to do the scroll functionality, which can be royal pain in the butt, especially when you're plugging in long airways. But luckily, we have this keyboard. So this is going to be your, think of it as your MCDU or your McDo in the Airbus. We're going to go FPL, which is flight plan. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go menu. And I just want to delete. So I'm going to do that again because that's probably the biggest thing to get started when you're flying the G1000 is you want to be able to start fresh, right? So again, when you have something in your flight plan box, come here, hit flight plan, and then I hit menu up here. You could hit menu here. Remember I said there's a bunch of different options or different ways to access certain menus. So I mean, you can even hit menu over here. But anyway, flight plan, menu, and now we need to delete the current flight plan. So I'm going to use the FMS knob down here, delete flight plan, and I'm going to hit enter. So now I have a blank flight plan to work with, Salt Lake City, and let's go ahead and start plugging away. So from Salt Lake City, I'm going to go ahead and press the FMS knob in. This is how you activate your cursor. This is another major function of the G1000 that you need to use. So you see here there's nothing highlighted. That means I have no cursor on the screen. By depressing the FMS knob, either here, or you can even depress the FMS knob over here, you get a cursor. Whenever you see something highlighted, that means you have a cursor. Now I'm going to use the outer knob to scroll down, and I have a blank spot, and we're going to begin doing our waypoints. So, Shaquille O'Neal, welcome back to Private Pilot, man. Welcome back aboard. Good to have you back on board, my friend. It expired sometimes. Yeah, no worries. I got the alert box back on today too, so that should be good. So we're going to be going direct to Parlay intersection. So P-A-R-L-E. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And then, oh, no I'm not. I mistyped it. So let's try it again. P-A-R-L-E. There we go. Parlay, that's the waypoint we want. We're going to hit enter. Enter gets rid of the cursor. Enter again puts it in your flight plan. So we have Salt Lake City to Parlay. Then from there we join Victor 484, which is unfortunate. How many waypoints is Victor 484? It shouldn't be too long. That's quite a few. All right, so we're going to have to enter each waypoint, but with the keyboard it goes by fast. So let's do this. Victor 484 to Mike Tango Uniform. So we're going to go Mike Tango Uniform. Enter. That is the VOR in the U.S. Southwest. That's the one I want. MTU. From there, we're going to IGEHU. So let's go ahead and keep typing it out. IGEHU. Very similar to just typing it in your Boeing FMC or Airbus McDo. You're just stepping through here, except you can't. I don't believe in the G1000 you can load an airway. I could be wrong on that. It's been ages since I've flown G1000. I know the G3000 you can. After IGHU, it's Windu, so we're going to Whiskey, India, November, Delta, Oscar. Enter. And we got an arrow to the next page here. And then it's to Junction, which is JNC. And again, Grand Junction, that's in there. And on top of descent, we're taking Victor 382 to Eknoff, ECNOF. ECNOF. We'll enter that. And then from Takeoff, it's pretty much right into Telluride. So we're going to put Telluride as the last waypoint. So KTEX. Now this is where another very important segment of the G1000 planning comes in. You can see here that I don't have any approach in here, but the flight plan is going to take your departure and it's waiting for the last waypoint for its arrival. So if you don't put Telluride in here and you just start plugging in waypoints, you're doing extra work. So after you get the last waypoint before your arrival or your approach procedure, just put in your airport. And now what we can do is select the procedures button, which is PROC, and we can select an arrival or an approach. We're not doing any arrivals, we're just doing an approach. So we're going to select approach, and we are going to select the RNAV RNP Zulu runway 9er into Telluride, and we're going to do it off of Takeoff. Enter. And we're going to turn minimums on. Oh no, actually no, we'll leave it off for right now. We'll leave it off right now. And I'm going to load. You don't want to activate it yet because we're still a way out, but we're just going to load this in the box. Now, I can arrow out here. If I zoom out, I can see my flight plan. So let's go here. And you can see this is how you scroll. So essentially, you could do it with this one or this knob here. But you go to flight plan, and you just use the mouse wheel scroll along the cursor here, and you can see your flight plan on the MFD display. So we can see everything's in there. We've got our approach loaded in there. That looks good. Flight plan off, and you can actually get more intense with that too by putting in a vertical profile and things, but we're not going to mess with that today. So now I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in. I'm going to keep terrain off. I'm just going to leave topo on. We don't need NextRad, and we've got traffic on, so that is good. You can load airways in the G1000? I think if you hit menu, you should be able to load airway. Oh. You could. Yeah, Chuck, I know you can type it out. Maybe you can load airways. Okay, so that's, I wasn't, if you hit menu. Oh, is it menu? Let me just see here. Ah, look at that. Yes. So there we go. So look, see, even I learned something new. If you have your waypoint, say window, and then you want to load an airway, you just press the menu key and you can load the airway and you don't have to type all the waypoints. Wow, that makes things a lot easier, huh? All right, well, see, even I learned something new. That's why I like having you guys along. So I did it the long, hard way. You can do it the easy way by selecting menu and then loading the airway. There you go, Chris. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I don't know if that's an option. I mean, the time when I flew G1000s, they were brand new and they were just coming out, so I don't know if that's a newer option or not. Maybe I wish I would have known that when I was flying them, because that would have saved a lot of typing. So thanks for that, guys. All right, so we got our flight plan in the box. That's pretty much the hard work. I'm going to put the engine indicating system back out to full. Let's pull up our checklist now, and let's go ahead and start pre-flight checklist here. Before start, let's see, pre-flight test completed. Let's do a little flow here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the oxygen on. That's in auto. We're going to go bleeds auto, pneumatic to auto. Hydraulic pumps are going to come online. Pumps are in auto. Fuel pumps are on. Actually, you know what? Stand by. We need to fuel. I'm going to go ahead and fuel with the pumps off right now. So we're going to hold the checklist right here. We're going to hold the flow right here. What do we need for gas? We got to make sure we have proper fuel this time. I believe we have a little bit extra because we have an alternate of Colorado Springs. But our ramp fuel, our gate fuel, is 2,719 pounds. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put my EFB up here. I'm going to go ground options, open fuel panel, and we're going to camera over to the fuel panel. Open that. Battery on. And what do we want here? We want 2,719. Total quantity. So we're going to scroll this up here. I figured the G1000 should be able to do airways. I just never took the time to research it. But now I'm excited. Now we might be able to fly some longer routes or really put it to the test here. That'll really help when you're trying to do a reroute or something, having the airway function. All right, we need 2,719. Jeez. 2 hours and 42 minutes of gas. We'll have enough gas to come all the way back. Is that full fuel? Oh, that's a lot of gas. We'll take 2720 and turn you on, and there we go. We are refueling. One thing we should do too is probably pull the chocks out. Pull the chocks out, that's good. And let's go ahead and load. We'll load our passengers after we get our gas just to see what's going on. So we've got that loaded. Fuel pumps are off. Landing field elevation, we want to verify that. That's 9,000 feet. That's high field elevation. That's good. Niels, easier than doing it with the GNS 430 530. They don't support. That's probably where I got confused, Niels, is the old GNS 430 or the Garmin 530. Very popular light aircraft GPS unit is the Garmin 530. Maybe I just got used to doing it in there and I never pursued trying to figure it out in the G1000. But that's awesome. I'm actually really excited to know that. All right, so our flight plan is in the box. Pressurization is off right now because we're getting ready for start. Let's go ahead and do our rotary test here while we're waiting. Always want a first flight of the day. Press and hold. There's our fire test, our lights. EIS is on.
Fire.
That works. Let's do our next one here. This is
Fire.
smoke. Annunciator test. Cutout comes on. That's good. Stall protection. Stall ice protection. And we'll go back to normal. Pusher, cutout. There's our yoke. I like having the yoke, but I got to be able to see behind there. All right, Jip Whiz, everything the lights off here. Wing stab, that's off. Emergency lights, we'll arm those. The nav is on. Our top altitude today, we're going to just scroll it up. We don't have an ATC right here. We're going to go all the way up to I filed 250, but I'm going to do 230 because 25 is a little aggressive, I think. So we're going to scroll in 230. Watch out, Captain, for the passenger's mass. Yes. Yeah, that was Phantom 320's fault. He accidentally misloaded the aircraft. So we're going to do it properly today. So we're not going to look at kilos. We're going to look at pounds. So lovely first officer today. She's definitely not 200 plus pounds. So we're going to do, if she's about $110, then my weight's 220. That's 330 plus, what do we, let's call it maybe another 300, 600. We'll take 800 pounds of cargo because let's say we've got some ski gear back there. Yeah, we'll do 951. Let's say we got a bunch of snowboarding gear and equipment in the back as well. So we got 951 pounds of cargo. That includes about 500 pounds of passenger weight. That gives us a total mass of 7.1 kilos. So let's go to our V speeds. And actually, before we do that, I'm going to go back to charts, manuals, performance. And let's look at our takeoff performance tables here. Our field elevation is about 1,000 feet, so we need to find the proper chart. This is airport pressure altitude minus 1,000. Nope. There we go. Here we go. Ice protection, wing stab, engine off, ATR off, flaps 1, dry runway. And what did I say we were? We were 7.1. Outside air temperature is 4 degrees Celsius, so we'll call it 5. And we're 7.1. Let's round it up to 7.2. Oh, yeah, so we are... we'll take the 7.2 speeds at 5. 103, 103, 115. That works for me. 103, 103... 115 is set. And we're going to be flying with our synthetic vision. So I'm going to go ahead and turn synthetic vision on. We got our synthetic vision on, and we're going to do topo only. No terrain function right now. Real pitch scale, or we want the old one. We'll do real pitch scale. Medium up. That looks good. All right, so that is pretty much all set. Let's go ahead and finish our flows here. Hydraulics, pumps come to auto. That is good. ECS is off, flaps off, and spoilers are closed. Let's close up some doors. We're going to close the passenger door, cargo doors, baggage door. Let's go ahead and shut our fuel panel off. We got our gas. That can come there. We'll close you. And power off. Close the fuel cap. And let's close the door. Fueling is complete. Coaster, are those fueled using pressure? I would imagine from this It's a pressure load or pressure, but I think you have alternate fueling over here. You have over wing fuel caps, so this would be a gravity feed up here. This is my assumption. I'd have to actually dig into the manual, but I don't know if Cactus is still here. He said he fueled Embraers. I don't know if we got any rampers on the ground, but I would imagine when they're filling it from back there, the normal preferred is a pressure refuel, and then this would be gravity, but I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong. So, all right, cast messages are all clear. Let's go ahead and run the checklist now. All right, where were we? Oxygen bottle, push passenger auto, oxygen pressure is required for dispatch. We've got good GPU power. Bleed panel is an all auto. Fuel panel, pumps, auto, crossfeed off. They're in auto, crossfeed off. Hydraulics pumps are open. Pushed out, we already did that. Ice protection off as required, it is off. Pressurization, aircraft panel, we've already checked that. We've got field elevation, everything looks good there. Start, stop, they're both off. Ignition's coming to auto. Thrust lever's idle. Flap speed brake up and closed. Parking brake set. Doors are closed. Let's go ahead and start engine number 2. We'll do it from the outside. I love how easy it is to start it. And look, the beacon light automatically turns on. There's your answer, Cactus 1549. Thank you. He says, yes, it's pressure via the single point. Overwing is gravity refuel. All right, we got a good start on engine number 2. Let's go ahead and disconnect from the GPU. We'll pull the ground power unit and we'll close the GPU panel. That way we don't have anybody having to go underneath the operating engine there. And I just want to verify our bleeds are in auto. So we can do a cross bleed. Yes, it is. And let's go ahead and start engine number 1. You could even hear that second engine RPM drop as it's supplying bleed pressure in the cross bleed to spin up engine number 1. That is the kind of detail that I'm talking about on a light jet like this. This takes a light airplane and makes it, you know, an on-the-line / study level light jet because it's got all these nuances modeled. But I don't know if you guys caught that. But what happened is as soon as I started engine number 1, I could hear that second engine RPM decrease because it has to separate the bleed pressure and get the first engine to spool up. That's just awesome attention to detail. Aerobask is absolutely blowing this out of the park, man. All right, so we got 2 good starts. We do want to check our spoid brakes here before we extend the flaps. Maybe we can't check them yet. I guess we can't check them on the ground. They're closed. Open. All right, I thought we had to check them there. We'll go flaps 1. And ECS goes to both. And everything else looks good there. Cast messages are clear. Transponder, we're going to squawk on altitude. So, G1000 transponder operation. Come down here on your PFD, XPDR. This is all your transponder options. If you want to change the code, you can come here and select your code. If you want to just squawk VFR, which is 1200, you press the VFR soft key. But since we are on VATSIM, we're going to squawk 2000. And for VATSIM purposes, we want to squawk altitude. Sometimes you may hear that say, hey, can you squawk altitude? That comes over here. We're going to go altitude on. If you leave it in auto, I believe it's altitude off until airborne, and then it will go to altitude once you're airborne. I don't know if this has the auto feature modeled, but not a big deal. Squawk altitude is set. I don't want my inset here. If you want an inset, you can have an extra PFD, but I don't want that. So inset is off. This is your wind knob here. We'll look at that in flight, though. But everything else looks good. GPS is set. And I think we're pretty much ready to go. Let's do the last after start check. Let's hear GPU disconnected. Electric is good. We got 23 or greater stall protection tested. Takeoff data set. Trims. 00. Pitch green. Check. Ice protection as required is off. Flaps are position 1 for takeoff. All right. I think we're ready to taxi out of here. 22.8 is what we need on the Unicom. 22.8. And let's look at a taxi chart here, KSLC. Slam says Aerobask is super underrated. I agree, man. I knew nothing about Aerobask until this airplane, and I'm blown away, man. I cannot wait for the Falcon now. If you guys want somebody to help test your Falcon out, I'm your guy. All right, let's see here. 10.9 page airport info. Jay Clappy just I saw your message. Are you going to be getting the Falcon 8X from Aerobask when it releases? Yeah, of course, man. Of course. Our hangar, I was talking about this last night in the members only stream. Our hangar was shared with a Falcon 7X, and I was always googly eyed over Falcon jets, man. I love all the tri-hold jets. All right, we're going to take off of 3.5. What's the current winds doing? What do we got here? Winds are 130 at 10. I guess we're going to be taking off of 17. And we're going to taxi to 17 via Kilo. Let's see. Where's my... Oh, there's Salt Lake City Traffic.com 357. We're going to be leaving from the Jet Center here. We're going to taxi to 17 via Kilo, Salt Lake. Now, I don't see a transmit button come up here on this, but I see it on... the VATSIM thing on my side screen, so it should be good. All right, I'm also going to put my declutter back on so we can see the airspace. Let's get out of here, guys. We're going to go brakes off, taxi light on. We'll do a cinematic taxi out here. Where can I put the camera? Listen to this. Love it. You can really see the trailing link gear there as we turn away. Oh, this is beautiful, man. I cannot wait for Starlink. Somebody hit up Elon Musk on Twitter and tell him he needs to get that satellite over North Texas so I can stream in HD again. If you guys could see this in HD right now, oh, it's amazing. Am I not on Kilo? I don't think I got on Kilo. I'm still on the ramp, huh? We're going to take, we'll take Kilo 4 Kilo. Actually, no, that's hotel. We'll take is that hotel or helicopter? Kilo 4. Kilo 4 to out. We're good to go. Semken says they put a post up about beta testers and they said this beta tester must be qualified. Uh-oh. With the Falcon Easy or the Easy 3 avionics will be screened by default. Oh, wow. Okay, well, it's out of my league. That's all right. I can't wait to get it anyway, man. I have no problem fully supporting companies that are going to put out quality products. Like, I mean, I bought this one. I buy a lot of the products with my own money, just like you guys do. You know, I don't really have any sponsors on the channel or anything like that, and it's almost preferable because I can give my honest opinions that way. You know, you're not tied down by any, you know, contracts or anything like that. But I will 100% support these guys if it is even, you know, if it's this level or even better, and if it's going to be screened by default. I mean, geez, I can't imagine it being any worse. So that'll be a day one purchase for me. Neil says is the correct procedure to mention the airport name first and last when making radio calls. Yeah, so when you're on we call it a CTAF or Common Traffic Advisory Frequency, yes, because that CTAF can be shared with multiple airports. So in real life, you know, if you're calling up for one airport and there's an airport next to you, you know, maybe 50 miles or something. Wow, look, I'm doing Airbus turns here. I forget how close I am to the nose wheel. I keep overshooting my turns. So that's why it's a good practice to use the airport call sign when you're on a CTAF or advisory frequency, because in real life especially, you don't know, you know, you could be transmitting to a dozen different airports in the area and there could be people in the pattern. You're like, oh wait, he was on final, what runway was that, or what airport was that? So that's why you should say the airport name. Alex Friedman says, like, hey V1, my PPL check ride will be within next month. Any tips? Alex, awesome, man. Congratulations. Any tips for a PPL check ride? Be confident, man. Be confident with your answers. I think, you know, I think a lot of people get nervous about the ground portion most. And that may not be you. You may be ready to go on the ground. But I would say for tips for the ground part of the check ride, Make sure you're confident in your answers. Examiners are going to look for holes. So even if you know the answer but you sound unsure, then they're going to start digging at that topic to see if they can find out more weaknesses around there. So it's always good to be confident, and if you're going to be wrong, just be confidently wrong and work through the problem. But don't be hesitant on your answers. As far as the flight portion goes, I tell this to everybody, and not even a PPL check ride. Can be any check ride. It could be a stage check. When you're flying the airplane and you're being examined, we as humans have a tendency to just kind of almost succumb to certain situations because either we're nervous or we know what we need to do, but maybe the airplane's not doing it. So my number one piece of advice for anybody doing any type of examination in the real airplane, and this is even if you're not doing an examination really, do not let the airplane fly you. You are in control of the aircraft. You are pilot in command of the airplane. If the airplane is not doing what you want it to do exactly, then you change it. You put the airplane where you want it to be. If you're coming in for a landing and you're not on center line, you're like, oh, I'm drifting. Don't sit there and realize that you're drifting and watch it drift. Take control of that airplane and put it over the center line. So if you keep that mentality throughout your flight, you're going to be good, man. Just do not let the airplane fly you. I don't care if it's gusting to 44 knots. You're in control of that airplane. Do not go for a ride. You're taking the airplane for a ride. Coonan says, I just found a key binding for wash your hands and, of course, other stuff. Yeah, I was looking at the key bindings. There's some pretty crazy ones. I found a cool little Falcon picture in the lab, too. Last night somebody told me to check out the lab. Yep, Sam's got it right there. Don't dig yourself a hole. Give concise answers. That's exactly what I was going for. Super nervous for the oral. Look, man, don't be nervous. As long as you study, make sure you study. If you don't study, then you should be nervous. But if you study and you know the material, there's no reason to be nervous. You're either gonna know it or you don't know it when you walk in for your oral examination. And if you know it, there's no reason to be nervous. Give the answers that he wants and leave it at that. Don't dig yourself a hole like Sam said. Also get the gouge. Yeah, so Joe, you kind of was saying the same thing. We call it a gouge. If you have an examiner that is popular at your flight school, or maybe he's done examinations for someone else in your flight school, it's called a gouge, and figure out what they want. I'm not hearing any traffic on VATSIM. I hope 122.8, everything is good. The audio's on. Should be all right. But yeah, it's called a gouge, so you can see what kind of questions they like to ask. Every examiner has their own little questions that they like to ask. All right, we got traffic departing. We're going to go ahead and hold short here, give him a minute to get out of here. We'll do a checklist. Kill the taxi light. Look at that. The sun is setting over at Salt Lake. Now, it's setting a little bit faster than I wanted it to set. All right, let's go ahead and look at our checklist real quick here. For takeoff config. Here we go. Oh, brake is set, so let me take that off.
Takeoff. Okay.
Takeoff, okay. CAS is checked, it's clear. Signs, PFD seat belts off. That's set. Ice protection is not required. Yaw damper is off. I skipped one there. ATR is green. It'll be green. PAX advised. Exterior lights as required. Transponder is on altitude. All right. So I'm going to go Toga push button, get my roll. Takeoff flight director's on up to 310. Salt Lake traffic. .com 357 is going to line up and wait on 17 Salt Lake. I love the lights on this Phenom right there on that belly fairing. Looks so juicy. There's the traffic. He's out of here. I think by the time we line up, we'll be ready to go. So our departure is, we're just on a vector departure to Parlay, so we're going to make a left turn out. I'm going to get my heading bug to the left here. We'll turn left to 090. Salt Lake traffic, DOCOM 357, taking off runway 17, departing to the southeast Salt Lake. You guys ready? Stable. Toga. Ooh, 80 knots, thrust set. V1, rotate. Whoa, that was a terrible rotation. That was on me. Positive rate, gear up. We talked a little bit about why the airplane pops off the ground. Has to do with that trailing link gear. If I remember, we'll explain it in cruise. But that was a terrible rotation on my part. Alright, let's go roll pitch. And oh, I don't have my heading mode bound. I gotta get some more bindings set. Salt Lake traffic, DOCOM 357, departing the air to the southeast. Last call, Salt Lake. Flyby. That flyby view is so juice. Alright, we're gonna go autopilot on. Clean it up. Fly. Oh, trimmed. Gave her a bad trimmed airplane there. We're going to speed up to 160, flap 0, and let's go direct parlay. Let's go flight plan, arrow down, direct, enter, nav. Oh, got a stutter there. X Enviro. Oh, I got to turn the yaw damper on. Ah, that's a beautiful departure. Let's just enjoy that departure for a second. Look at that shot. Goodbye, Salt Lake. You know, Team Vodka, I did install the model. I installed it. I guess I put it in the wrong spot. I put it under GA. It was supposed to go under Jets, but I put the CSL on the resources folder, plugins, Xpilot. Oh, what I entered in Xpilot wasn't correct? I'll put Embraer 505, I think, in Xpilot. Alright, 160, there's 10,000 feet. Let's get the yaw damper on. Landing taxi light come off, strobes come off. We don't need all this floodlight in here. Let's go ahead and dim it down a little bit. Let's increase speed. 10 knots at a time here. Look at that synthetic vision though, that's pretty sweet. Windshield he's come on here too as we're going up over 10. Everything else looks good. Let's do an after takeoff. Landing gear is up, flaps up. Yaw dampers on, thrust levers, MCT. That's continuous climb is set. Pressurization, it is climbing, checked. Altimeter is cross-checked, 3022 still. Ice protection is off, external lights as required. Another flyby shot. Gosh, that's amazing. Look at that shot right there. Yeah, that's the X Enviro for you, sky color. Oh, it's 550p. That's my bad, Team Vodka. Oh, man, I need some water. I've been drinking a lot of coffee. Look at this shot going over the mountains here. Goodbye, Salt Lake. Man, it's going to be a lot darker than I thought. I wanted to be landing at this time, not necessarily flying the whole flight at night, but it'll work. All right, let's continue to roll that speed up here. So, about being a corporate pilot, let's talk a little bit about this flight level change mode. The airplane will indeed pitch for speed on this flight level change mode. You're kind of a speed on elevator mode for Embraer guys. And if you roll the speed, like if I were to just roll it up to 220 knots, the airplane's going to continue to lower the pitch until it reaches 220 and then begin climbing again. So when you're a corporate guy, you got to remember, you want to be as smooth as possible. You're not flying an airliner right now. This is your boss in the back. So I like to always just kind of roll it up nice and slow. Sometimes I'll use a vertical speed mode. But I don't want to do dramatic changes because I'm trying to keep everything as smooth as possible. You see here, as I increase speed, that pitch command comes down. because that's the way it's going to increase speed by lowering the pitch. Our thrust is constant. We got that FADEC and continuous climb. So think of it as a speed on elevator mode. Your speed is controlled by the elevator and the pitch of the aircraft. We're going to keep rolling it up here, nice and smooth. Now, I'm not 100% sure if the real airplane, what the Phenom 300 will do, if it can compensate, like if I were to just rip it at 220, if it will maintain a certain climb rate, or if it will just go all the way to level and descend. I would imagine it would do what it does in the sim here and actually begin to descend if you aren't too careful with it. South End says, I do love the scream of the BizJet engines, the Pratt & Whitneys especially. Oh yeah. Did I turn the strobes off? I did. Thank you. Good catch, Oscar. My bad, man. 18,000 feet. We'll go ahead and scroll in standard here. 29902 is set and standard set on the IESS. We are well on our way to Salt Lake. Oh, I'm sorry, to Telluride. Oh man, look at this shot coming out of here. We might as well sit here and admire this. Which view is better? Ooh, this one's pretty good here. We'll admire this for a little bit longer before it gets completely dark. What is a CSL? A CSL is the model for X-Pilot, so other players can see your airplane instead of it just defaulting to something random. Like that 737 that took off in front of me, that's actually Team Vodka and he's in a Phenom, but if I had the proper CSL or if I had it installed correctly, then I would see him as an Embraer Phenom instead of just a default airplane. I mean, this airplane is just... the sounds in this cabin, unreal, man. Absolutely unreal. Alright, let's come back up here. We'll see where we're going. We're coming to 23. You know what? Let's go to 2.5. That's what we filed. I think we'd be just fine at 2.5. I got 250 is set. We'll go all the way up to 25,000 feet. And once we get up there, we're going to clean up some charts and we're going to start doing some planning because Telluride will come at you quick. And this happens in real life too. Is you're landing at almost 10,000 feet, 9,000 foot field elevation. So even though I'm at 25,000 feet, I'm really only going to be, what is that, 10, 15,000 feet above the ground. So it actually comes up on you a lot quicker than you may realize. So we'd like to plan, and especially Telluride, you always want to bring your A game, so always plan prior to. But while we're climbing up here, I want to do a couple more PFD tips here for the G1000. So on your main PFD, so you have your PFD, and then this is called an MFD by definition. PFD, pilot flight display, and then MFD, multifunction display. Captain Falafel, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Welcome on board. Glad to have you on the channel as a member, dude. Exclamation point welcome. For more information on your perks, we did a little... I kind of like that. I might start doing them more often. Members-only streams when I get a chance at night, you know, and internet or no internet, it's almost just like having a live Q&A or a live podcast. I told a Las Vegas story when I was flying corporate last night, so that was fun. You'll have access to those and much more, but thank you, Captain. Welcome aboard. Did I buy my rotor pedals yet? No, Doug, I have not, unfortunately. All right, there's our climb. We've reached 250, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to max climb. Oh, I'm sorry, max cruise, and just see where it levels out at, and then we'll look at some perf charts. All right, so here's our PFD. We got the synthetic display on, so we can see all the terrain below us. One of the best tips for the PFD for watching your wind is this little wind inset here, and this actually has a bunch of different options. So how we're going to access this, all your options are going to be on the bottom of the G1000, whether it's the PFD or the MFD. You have options, always are going to be on the bottom. So you got your declutter option, you have map options, and systems options. Speaking of, let's go ahead and let's just do a quick look here. Fuel looks good, status, electrics. I'm just making sure everything looks good there. Okay, cool. So the option that we're going to look for is wind. So we're going to come down here to the bottom soft key, PFD, and now we're going to pull up the wind. Now, if you mess all this up, DFLTS, that's defaults. That's going to bring everything back to default. So let's pull up the wind option. We have 3 different wind options available to us. Option 1, this is what a lot of guys like. Personally, I'll use this if it's really gusty and, you know, maybe I'm coming in to land in a crosswind situation. This will give you your crosswind and either your headwind or tailwind component. So right now we can see we have 36 knots on the tail with a 7-knot crosswind. Option 2, which is what I prefer, it will show you the direction of the wind and its total velocity. So we have a slight quartering tailwind there at 36 knots. Option 3 is the single arrow that will maneuver. So if you have a crosswind, this arrow will actually turn in direction of the wind, and it will tell you tailwind 36, crosswind of 8 knots, or you can declutter it and turn it off. So those are your wind options. Play with those. Again, option 1 is good if maybe you want to see your crosswind, maybe a crosswind limitation. You got a strong crosswind, you want to see what the wind is doing exactly in your crosswind factor. So that's a good way for that, but I prefer option 2, and then we're just going to go back out of that. Now let's look at some other soft key options down here. We have the DME option. So if I press DME, I get DME on 1. I thought I should get 2. So DME, distance measuring equipment, this is going off of nav 1. I'm 167 miles from nav 1. Nav 1 is 13.9. It's a VOR. I don't really need that right now, but let's say you're doing the VOR approach, you probably are going to want to have some DME. Now, you're always going to have your DME up here, but this is going off of your GPS. That's why it's in magenta. So whatever's in your flight plan is going to be up here. So you could have a different VOR here and a different VOR here, and you'll have different DMEs. So that's just one thing. It's an advanced option that if you're flying a VOR approach, you're probably going to want to have that on. But if it's in your flight plan, you can also cross-check from up here. One other thing to note about the DME indicator is this is susceptible to what we call slant range air. So a slant range air is basically the distance from your altitude down to the ground. That is distance, right? So even if you're right over the top of the VOR, you're still going to show X number of miles from the VOR because you're still at altitude. Whereas the GPS distance does not have slant range air. So again, that's advanced topic. We'll go ahead and turn that one off for right now. We don't need it. Bearing pointers. Again, this is very good for VOR approaches if you want to cross-reference radials. So bearing pointer 1 goes off nav 1, bearing pointer 2 goes off nav 2, and I can also change it by pressing it again. I can put it on the GPS, and I can even do the same for bearing 1. I can put them both on GPS. So whatever my GPS waypoint is, I can have a bearing point at that GPS. You can see we're 30.8 from MTU. But this is probably going to be something, if you guys are in flight training and you're doing VOR approaches where or maybe even ADF holding, this could come into account. But I don't need those, so I'm going to turn those both off just to show you guys a little option there. So those are your basic options there. We're going to back out of that. OBS, we'll change that for a different one. We keep the CDI on. Everything else looks good there. Inset, again, you can have an inset here, an inset map. So, and I can scroll the map out. Say you don't want to look over here at your MFD, or maybe you've got some type of failure over here and you want to look at the map display. You could see it over here on your inset. But to me, that just blocks the screen. A little too much information. I like to turn that one off. So that's just a basic overview of what you got here. I would highly suggest if you guys, wow, that's a rip in there. Let's go ahead and back it off. Let's bring it down to 70. We'll do 68% N1. Back it off. It brings our fuel flow down to 233. Save a little bit of gas. We don't need to be going that fast. We'll do 70%. See what that gives us. We'll do 70% N1. All right, we're 20 miles from MTU. All right, let's go back here. Charts, we don't need that. I want to look at my flight plan real quick here. It had a planned top of descent on the flight plan, and I'm just curious where that was. Windu. Top of descent was before IAL. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, no, here it is. Right after Grand Junction. Oh, basically Grand Junction, just past Junction. So Grand Junction is down here. I can see it on my map. 1 mile, 84 miles to go from destination is when Navigraph, or I'm sorry, what is this? SimBrief plan my top of descent. So we'll probably start down a little bit early, just because this airplane does not like to slow down. We know that. Everything else is good up in cruise here. Oh, hey girl. Let's hop back here and let's take a look at this view here out the window for a little bit. Sneak my head out the window. Look at that. That's cool. Giblino says, hey, V1, are you still waiting for Starlink? How's their process of communication? You know, it's pretty much nil right now, but yeah, I am still waiting. I mean, I was signed up for the list back in when they first offered the sign up. I got an email right away saying, yeah, I'm registered, and I'll email you when it's available. And then I got an email saying it's available for official pre-order. So then I pre-ordered it. I think you put $100 down, and then when it is available in my area, it said mid-2021, right? We're in 2021? Yeah. Mid-2021 is when it should be available in my area. And then when it is, they're going to send me the package and charge the rest of it. I believe it's about $500 to get the satellite. So they're going to be sending that when it's available. So I'm still standing by. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I cannot wait for Starlink that we can get back on some HD streams. But I can't thank you guys enough, man. The support I've had from you guys. I mean, we got 220 people watching a 720p stream on a Sunday morning. I am happy with that, and I haven't been putting out a lot of content. So I know we got a lot of hardcore fans of the channel. Shoot, I can even see my stats on YouTube. It says about 48% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, but you continuously watch the content. So I would appreciate if you do like this content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, I can't thank you guys enough for the support we've had. I've had some streams where the internet has not been cooperative, but you guys still want to see the stream progress, no matter how slideshow or choppy it gets and non-1080p. It's just, it's really, you know, it's really good to see the support from you guys when I have some terrible internet, and you guys are like, yeah, still keep going, and you guys are eager to learn aviation, eager to learn Airbus, and hopefully as we start to branch out into this Phenom, and we're going to be doing some GA stuff in FS 2020 and the Aero, because I love the Aero. I've got over 500 hours of dual instruction or dual given in the Aero that we'll continue to learn on this channel, and can't thank you guys enough, so hats off to you. Al W says, speed on elevator, hardest thing to teach someone new when landing an RC model is elevator for speed and throttle for altitude. You got it, man. Same for you, Slam. Midsummer, fall 2021. Yep. Let's get those likes up. Yeah, let's go. When are we at for likes? I haven't even paid attention. I'm so bad at this. Yeah, we got 200 people watching. If you guys like this content, man, hit the like button for me, because that helps the channel. It helps with YouTube. It's all about YouTube algorithm, man. You know, I'm here to teach you guys, and I know there's a lot of people that are eager to learn and passionate about aviation. So the more people that like the videos, the more it plugs my channel into the algorithm, and the more people I get to share my passion with. So Bruno Colombo, thank you so much. Welcome to Private Pilot, man. Exclamation point, welcome. For more information on your perks, but I just started doing, I think we're going to do a few more of them, is the after dark, or I'm going to start calling them V1 off-duty live streams. But that was a lot of fun. We did that last night. I get to just chill. Let's see, 12765. 12765. I got a notice from ATC here. We'll go ahead and plug him in.
Number 6 Whiskey Bravo, radar contact, 40 miles, approximately 50 miles northwest of junction, flight level 210, maintain flight level 210.
Maintaining flight level 210, 656 Whiskey Bravo.
Scouts 5477, climb maintain flight level 220, radar contact.
British Airways 1561, what's up, man? Watching the stream? Thanks, dude. Denver Center, good afternoon. .com 357, level 250.
.com 357, Denver Center, squawk 6574.
Squawk 6574. .com 357. 6574.
Good morning. I'm Delta 277, ready to copy IFR clearance down to Memphis.
All right, we got that set. We're doing 246. That's pretty good. Fuel 247. That's about 500 pounds an hour, right? So we got 2,000 pounds. So that gives us, rough estimate, hour and a half of gas. I like this fuel flow. We could definitely go a little bit faster, but there is a strong possibility we might have to do a go-around on Telluride. I did one practice approach into Telluride with this airplane, and I'm telling you, this airplane, you have to fly it into the ground, right? It doesn't want to stop flying, especially if you're over ref. So you're also dealing in Telluride with higher density altitudes. I mean, we're at 9,000 feet field elevation, so we really got to be careful with our speed. If it's too fast, I'm going to set, if we're VREF plus 10, we're definitely going around.
357 radar contact, 68 miles northwest of Grand Junction, VOR, flight level 250, welcome.
That's us, .com 357. But yeah, so we'll plan our descent planning. At least we're on center now. Maybe he'll give us the descent when it's time, but we'll have to look at our weights, and we really got to be on speed because this airplane, like I said, it does not want to stop flying. You got to really fly it into the ground. Fubar says, hats off to UV1. We appreciate you doing these streams as you can. Always informative and fun. Fubar, awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Andre says, thank you for the great comment. Thank you. Robert S. with the positive rates. I appreciate it, man. Louis says it's about what you do and not about how it looks. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll never forget that stream where I had so many dropped frames. It was literally a slideshow. We're in 720p, and I think we had over 200 people watch the entire stream. I was blown away. I just, after that stream, I stopped stressing so much about the internet because it really, if I don't do a stream for a while and then I'm all excited about one and then the internet doesn't cooperate, I would get disheartened. I'm like, man, they're not going to want to watch this. But it turns out that's really not the case, and I can't thank you guys enough. So if you can't tell, I'm extremely passionate about aviation. I love it, and I love sharing aviation with you guys. Michael, what's up, man? It says, hey, everyone, a little late. How are you doing? I'm doing great, man. Let's talk real quick here because I know everything's going to happen fast. So I wanted to talk a little bit about trailing link gear. I wonder if I can morph myself into the gear well. Can we do that?
All right, Delta 277,
No, we can't
clear
do
down
that.
to Memphis via the MQ-7 departure and the Gator transition. Departure frequencies, or climb via the SID. Departure frequency is going to be with you, and squawk 12740.
Is there a pilot light? What's the pilot light key?
Squawk 6546.
I can't quite see the landing gear in there.
All right, could be my hand
oh,
working
well.
there.
So,
6546 in the
let's talk about
Delta
trailing link
277.
gear, and I talked about this in the stream last night.
American 1120.
But when I did the
Flight
demo
runway
flight on this
21,
airplane,
left, clear for takeoff.
I noticed that when we took off, you had almost a kind of a pop off the ground feel in real life, and the same thing with the citation, but not so much with the citation. I think it has to do with the wing as well. But a trailing link gear system, so essentially what happens is you have a main link, which basically a U-joint that comes down, and then you have a pin that goes through that joint, and the wheel sits behind that main link. That is called a trailing link gear system, and the benefit of that, and somebody brought it up last stream, I think the F-18 or some carrier-based aircraft may have a similar type of design. But when you have the gear trailing the main link, you have an extreme amount of shock absorption. So it can take, a bad pilot's landing and make it an average or decent landing just because of the pure shock absorption that it has. It's not like the Airbus where you're just coming down on straight gear. You've got a shock absorption, you got the struts. But the trailing link gear actually has a much, in my opinion, especially for light jets, has a much better absorption. So you can get some real good greasers when you have trailing link gear on your airplane. Now, conversely, when that gear is compressed, when we're going down the runway and you begin to rotate, as the weight comes off the wheels, that gear is going to expand, and it's going to expand more so than a traditional oleo strut or an air oil strut or just a standard strut with some basic shock absorption. That trailing link kind of pops open and it goes to its extended position before it retracts into the wheel well. So that little pop as you're rotating off the runway, it kind of translates into the sim. Now my rotation on this last takeoff was pretty terrible, but I think the first stream I did was much better with the rotation. But yeah, that little pop off, you can really feel it, and I can feel it in this sim here. So the flight modeling of this airplane is pretty amazing, man. Just the flight dynamics. And that's what you need with a light jet like this. Is you need to have good flight dynamics because there are, it is a very automated airplane, and it's automated for a reason because it's supposed to be a single pilot aircraft. So to make it not boring, you need to have a bunch of additional features, and you have to have a really good flight model, and Aerobask has nailed it. Let me zoom in here. Going the wrong way with my range knob.
Southwest 2236 for the contact, 124 miles east of Hill City, VOR, flight level 36.
There we go. Alright, we're 250. Let's look at some stuff here. How long till landing? We're about halfway there, man, so it's going quick. We can actually pull it up here. Let's go down here. We'll go flight plan. And turn menu off. I thought there was a way. I know there's a way to get time.
Okay, level 22, record contact lost.
I know there's a way. Estimated time en route, 5 minutes to the next waypoint. Oh man, I know there's a way to get time. Maybe it's because I don't have a VNAV profile set.
Guys, 5477, ascend and maintain flight level 200, expect localizer DME Echo.
200, expect a localizer DME Echo, Scott 5477.
Do wide view. Oh, here we go. There we go.
57, FedEx Cones, Echo Tango Lima.
Clear direct Echo Tango Lima.com 357. Alright, let's go ahead and, since I just messed that view up. Echo Tango Lima. Oh, there it is. So we're going to go direct to Echo Tango Lima. Cones, enter. Get rid of that, and let's verify the aircraft is turning. Echo Tango Lima, we're going direct. That looks good.
Denver Center, Cessna November 9056, Kilo Papad, General Aviation Ramp.
I just
West
figured it
VFR
out, so
westbound
let's go back
departure
here.
to
Flight
Addons,
plan.
Pitkin. I have
There we go.
information, Charlie.
So runway 9 is... Well, I had it there for a second. I think I went on wide view, it told me. My local time
We're
of arrival.
956, Kilo Papa,
Yeah.
Denver Center, Squawk 6562.
Final approach fix,
Denver,
1932Z.
outer below 8,500.
That's another way to do it. We'll go back to narrow view. We'll get to
You
start
go with that
planning.
squawk again, sorry.
Also, if you want to know, check this out.
6562, Cessna
Wow, those
6 Kilo
cabin
Papa.
lights actually work?
And advisory.
Is there a way to pull this down? Yeah, check this out, guys.
We're 1 Romeo Alpha.
Salt Lake,
96,
Telluride, 0218Z.
Land plus.
It's our arrival time.
Number 6, Whiskey Rabbit, set up
Love it.
18 to 5,000.
Who makes the Phenom 300? Embraer. This is an Aerobask one on Xplane, but the real Phenom is made by Embraer.
Center Delta 277, ready for pushback.
I can't believe the lights actually work too. But yeah, there you go. You got your
277,
stuff there. All right, let's go ahead and start planning the approach here because, like I said, this is going to come up fast. So we're going to close charts. I'm going to go manuals, performance. We got to go to page 63.
Actually, we're expecting runway 8.
Expecting runway 8, Delta 277, thanks.
Yeah, 5477, BT50.
All right, so that's climb, cruise, approach, N1s. Okay, here we go. Approach flap.
75 Western Notams at Telluride. Say approach request.
I would like to do the RNAV Zulu into Telluride for runway 9er, .com 357.
Roger, expect that from Cones.
Roger, we'll expect it from Cones, .com 357. All right, so let's go ahead and do a quick
Denver Center says
total mass right now. We're 6.8.
south of Rocky
Approach
Mountain.
flap 1, flap 3. We want flap full. Approach flap full. Engine ice protection off. Wing stab
Number 5 for Romeo.
off.
Denver Center enter left base, runway 3 to right. And report turning final.
Engine ice protection off or on with wing stab off. And our total mass is 6.8.
Right,
And
turning
flaps
550
full.
Romeo.
VREF 109 knots. VFS of 125.
And United 2D7 ready for taxi.
So
United
VFS,
257, runway
what did I say? 125.
25, taxi via Golf, United 2D7.
VREF is 109 knots. We're going to set those speeds there. All right, so our V speeds are set. Now let's look at our actual approach chart here. So let's close Salt Lake. And let's load up Telluride. Airport, 10-9 page. I believe Telluride is the one too. If you're in the commercial terminal or the FBO there, they actually have a book of all the accidents that have happened in Telluride.
Maintain 110,000.
My boss saw that one time.
57.
Definitely got a little nervous.
657.
All right, we're going to expect the RNAV Zulu runway 9er from Cones intersection.
202, reback correct runway.
Cones is here, so it's got a procedure turn. He's giving us direct Cones. I filed this off Eeknoff because I didn't want to do the procedure turn. We may have to do a procedure turn here. VOR is at 13,000 feet, so I'm going to set 13,000 right now. We haven't got a descend via yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and set it.
Taxi 217 right.
Let's calculate our own top of descent. So if we want to cross Cones at 13,000, our current altitude is 250. So if we're at 25,000 feet, remember we did our 3-degree rule. So we take our current altitude, 25,000. We want to be at Cones at 13,000. So we subtract 13 from 25.
Expect to enter the hold at Cones due to IFR traffic.
Roger, we'll enter hold. We'll expect to enter hold over Cones, .com 357. You mind if we start slowing back for fuel?
No problem. And you can just set a file discretion, maintain flight level 200.
All right, pilot's discretion, flight level 200. We'll expect to hold over Cones, .com 387. Not uncommon to get a hold there as well, so we're going to go 200. So that gets rid of our top of descent. So scratch everything that I was just about to tell you. But essentially, 36 miles is what we need. We're 60 miles out, so we're good.
16,000 heading 250.
So he said expect to hold over Cones. Hopefully it's in the box here. We're going to verify it. So it's going to be left turns, standard, outbound. So let's go ahead and deal with our PFD here. Let's go flight plan. We're going direct to ETL. It looks like it has the procedure turn in the box, ready to go. Now this is really going to jog my memory, is how we make sure we do hold.
Number 5, correction number 6, Whiskey Rapid, cross Cones that are above 12,000, clear to localize our runway 9er, approaching the Telluride.
Cross Cones that are above 12,000.
All right, so it's in the box. It's in the flight plan as a hold. We want to make sure that we do actually hold. If we don't hold, we can always go into heading mode and just go 2A2 outbound until we figure it out. And we can actually hard tune and back this up. So let me show you how we do it if we had to do it raw data, which you would also back this up in real life. So Cones is 110.2. So let's load that up here in our waypoint. 110, or in our nav data. 110.2 is the active ETL. So for holding, we're going to come down to our PFD. I'm going to go OBS. Oop, nope, I don't want to do OBS. I want to go PFD bearing pointer 1. That's my ETL. And I'm also going to go DME 1. So I'm going to back up the GPS hold with raw data. Right now on 49.8. You see the slant range error? Direct GPS distance is slightly less than the slant range error here that we have on the standard DME. I have my regular OBS needle. Now if I need to, I can change the CDI and we can actually put the inbound course of 102 inbound, and we can hold manually in heading mode if need be. I'm going to see if it will enter the hold automatic with GPS. If it doesn't, then we're set up and ready to go. He gave us pilot's discretion to 200. Let's go ahead and begin a flight level change descent down to 200. Flight level change, 244 knots. I'm going to walk that thrust back a little bit here. Nice casual descent. Technically, we are in radar contact, so we do not need to report leaving one altitude for another. We'll start a nice gradual descent down here. We got plenty of gas. We're looking good. 1900 on board. Daniel says, I don't think it will automatically hold. The hold is for missed approach right now. So that's what I was looking at that, but if I look at my flight plan.
Taxi via Mike to runway 8, Delta 277.
You might be right. I think that is the mist. It just looks like it's going to hold because we're coming in here. But this is, I think you're right. I think this is the mist coming back out to Cones.
For our flight plan clearance through to Colorado Springs.
I'm trying to remember.
Can I get a call sign one more time?
Anyone remember how to enter a
November
hold?
2464 uniform.
Over ETL.
46 running from Roger.
I'll go back over here for a second.
Sorry, Denver Center, can you repeat that? I didn't quite catch that. 2464 uniform.
Designer request.
110.2. I accidentally just dialed that ETL. Get that back in there. 110.2.
Sky 477, speed 210 now, and turn left heading 180, intercept localizer.
Speed 210 heading 180 to intercept pitch 477.
Gosh, I know there's a way to put a hold in there.
6 Whiskey Bravo to the radar.
I think I might have to
radar
reload
contact
the
is
approach.
lost.
If
Report
I
on for
reload it,
cancellation or missed approach to frequency change frequency.
let me do that. Let me go procedures.
Right over Unicom, we'll come back.
Actually, let's see. We're 34 miles out, so before we start messing with everything, I'm going to sync my heading bug, and we're going to select heading mode. That way the airplane continues to fly.
Hold over cones as published. Expect further clearance to 1620.
Hold over cones as published. Expect further clearance 1620.com 357. All right, 1620. So that's we're off in sim time, but that works for me. That's not a long hold at all. So I'm going to go procedure, select approach, RNAV Zulu from ETL.
Maintain 13000 till established, clear localizer DME.
Fly the
echo
course
approach,
reversal.
Sky 5477.
Yes.
Number 5.
Minimums we're going to turn on.
6 kilo pop, be ready for departure.
Barrel mins are.
Center 6 kilo pop already.
Straight in
for
9
departure.
is
6 kilo pop,
106,
runway
640.
17,
Jeez.
cleared for takeoff. Proceed on the course.
Clear for takeoff. Cessna 6 kilo pop.
United T-57 tracker contact. Climb maintain by level 230.
I maintain level 230.
I'm actually just going to scroll it here. It's faster.
Scout 5477, 1915, clear to land.
Clear line 15, pitch 477.
Jeez, that is really got to scroll that one up here. Direct 2, then hold. Yeah, I'm going to try that. Let's see here. Let me get this Vero in. I got course reversal loaded. Jeez, this is where having the knob would help. My finger's going numb on the mouse wheel here.
52, sir, are you ready for that?
Jeez, there's 10,000.
Yeah, 52, sir, 27.
Yeah, we're attacking.
That's all it goes. It only goes to 10,000 feet. That works for me. Load it.
Runway 8 taxi to Mike Scott.
Okay, so now we got hold. You see it? Approach runway 090, hold. So, in theory, it should hold. We'll go back to nav mode. GPS autopilot. Put the yaw damper back on.
Unicom 122.8.
Now, in theory, it should hold. In theory, it should hold. We're going to also start reducing to holding speed once we get down there. Flight retro, bring your flight plan and highlight the waypoint to hold. Waypoint to hold. Press the menu key using the big knob. Scroll down. Highlight, hold that waypoint option, bottom of the menu. All right, so I think that probably would have been a way to do it too. But yeah, see, I've already got it in there. Good. I've already got her in there. But yeah, that would have been another way to do it. Ah, yes, Flight Retro. If you're ever to hold present position, simply press menu on the flight plan page. Hold present position. But I don't have that option.
Ready to copy 2464 uniform.
I think in the real airplane it would be there, right? I remember holding a G and now it's all starting to come back to me. Jeez, this brings me back to like flight instructor days, man. In theory, we should hold, so I think we're okay. If it doesn't hold, with what we have set up in the box now, we have our ready to go here with raw data. Let's go ahead and increase that rate of descent.
8500.
I'm going to turn on, let's see, more options. Let's go ahead and turn on topo and terrain mode on the synthetic vision. Do you have to activate it to sequence it?
Maintain 9000 squawk 650.
No, because see, it's already ready to go. It's whole.
Waypoint is Tayrak. How do I spell that?
It's loud.
It's radar vectors direct.
So we've already got hold, initial approach, initial
Maintain 9000 squawk
initial fix.
6502464
hold. So it's already, we should hold. It's all in the box saying that it should hold. But I'll activate the approach to sequence it when we get cleared out of the hold. So when we get cleared out of the hold, what I'll probably do is just activate the approach or activate vectors to final because we're already beyond. Oh yeah, I'll probably just activate it because we're going to be right over here. So we got a SETMA inbound 102, then 096. We got 10,000 feet in the Barrow. But really, it's 10,640 for the LP minimums. What I should have done is probably done a rad out and done 1602. That would have been a lot easier
Maintain level 380, United 2.
for the barrowmans. That's right, we're learning.
Center Skies 5477, missed approach.
The hold fix has to be the active leg.
77, Roger, Platinum.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done this too, but we're good. We got it now. I think we got her now. So here it comes, 200 with about 2,000 feet to level off. And we're approaching ETL, 3 minutes. Slowing down here, get that turn radius down at, we want to be holding at 250. And here we go, hold direct, left turn, direct entry. Yeah, we're in the hold. We are in the hold, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 56, south, proceed on course to radar contact.
We are in the hold. 1,000 feet to
Proceed on
go.
course, radar contact 6 kilo Papa.
Trying to slow down and go down here at the same time. 1,000 feet.
Gas 5202, runway 8,
I mean, you can't see anything out here. This is where it is nice to have the synthetic vision.
477, Papa 14,000.
I mean, it's maybe kind of boring because you can't see all the beautiful Forkboy Ortho, but knowing that there's 10+ thousand foot peaks out here,
Approach again.
I mean, this is a hard instrument approach that we're gonna do. Let's just hopefully we don't crash today. All right, we're gonna come all the way back to 210 knots. Actually, we're gonna come all the way back to 180 knots.
.com 357, 718, 15,000.
Send and maintain 15,000. .com 357. All right, so I'm gonna let the airplane slow down to 180, and then we're gonna scroll down to 15,000. And we're gonna run a checklist here.
Okay, for Center America, or Delta 277, climbing through 6,000.
Delta 277, Denver Center, radar contact, climb and maintain climb for 230.
And here we go. Let's do flight level change now.
Up to flight level 230, Delta 277.
Skies 5202, left turn, heading 070, runway 8, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff, runway 8, got 52.
And we're gonna be going through 15.
We
So
said turn left 180.
what is our current barrow down here? Over Telluride, details 3048. That's going to be a big one here, so we're going to set that as we go through 18,000. Actually, since that's such a big change, I'm going to start scrolling it in now. 3048, geez. Look at that. On big changes like that, I'm going to do it a little bit early. This one's not too bad because it's higher than normal, so we're actually higher than what we were at 29902, but if it were the other way around, you don't want to be lower. You don't want to be lower than where you want to be. All right, so we're tracking outbound on 295. It should be 282. That's close enough. Their government work. 1,000. Actually, no, we're going all the way down to 15,000, so we're looking good. Let's go ahead and pull up a checklist here now and make sure things are looking good. So our current weight, do we need to adjust it at all? 8.3. Or no, 6.7. 108, 108. If anything, it'd be 106. So I think we're fine on our V-speeds. I'm actually going to drop you back down to 107 by the time we get down there. All right, so that should be good. Let's close that out. Let's go to... Let's go to the checklist. Descent checklist. Approach briefing is completed. Landing data has been set. Our windshield heat is on. Science outlet as required. Ice protection as required. We got the window heats on. That's it. Everything else is off. And we're coming out of 18.5 now. We are looking good. Probably nothing to see outside. Just a black hole, man. Jungle says, I gotta run, dog to walk, and food to be had. Stay safe in here. Hey, take it easy, Miss Jungles. Tell Mr. Jungles I said hello. We're turning back inbound.
5477. Turn right heading of a 070. Set of maintain 13 now.
Right 070 down to 13,000.
I don't think this version of the G1000 can hold. Maybe not. Why don't I fly on Pilot Edge? Just because of the coverage. And, you know, it's also expensive, too. For the amount of streaming I'm doing right now, I haven't been streaming enough to warrant flying out on the Pilot Edge network. If I purchase a month or two subscription from them, I like to, you know, at least be streaming a couple times a week so we can really get a good sense of Pilot Edge. But since I'm so sporadic right now, that's the only reason why I'm not on Pilot Edge. Plus, of course, you know, the coverage, right? VATSIM, you got global coverage when people are online.
357 looks like the other guy. Cancel last fire. Cross cones at or above 12,000. Cleared RNAV Zulu runway 9 approach.
Cones at or above 12,000. Cleared RNAV Zulu runway 09 approach. .com 357. All right, we're cleared approach, so we're going to go procedure. Activate approach. And menu. Is it menu flight plan? Menu. Nope, hold on. I think we do the next leg. So clear. Actually, we can go direct to... Nope. Nope. I don't...
327. You're a little bit too high for the approach. You can do another hold if you like, or if you like to continue straight up.
Roger that. Yeah, I see that. We might do one more turn here in the hold.
Go ahead.
Alright, so we could pop the speed brakes out and really get down, but we're going to leave it in the hold here. Let's see if she does one more turn in the hold. I don't want to use those speed brakes. It's just too violent. Yeah, see, that's... Don't want to be doing violent descent rates here. Well, hopefully she turns back outbound. If she doesn't, we'll snap her into heading mode. Oh, now it's going set my inbound.
Denver Center says
I'm going to select heading.
Romeo is 8
And
miles
continue
west
back
of
Outbound.
Buckley.
We're going to do one more turn in the hold
Delta
here.
airspace clearance through Buckley.
282 outbound.
Standby 1. Sky 5477.
One more turn in the hold here. 282 outbound.
Alright, roger.
Down to 12,000. Nice and smooth. We got plenty of gas, plenty of time. Don't want to try to force a bad approach here. So we're in heading mode, but it's got hold inbound to SETMA, so we know our GPS is ready. We're technically could resequence that, but I'm just going to leave it for now. We'll rejoin the inbound course. We're coming down to 12,000. It's actually 13,000 on the chart, but 12 will work for me. After we cross the VOR inbound, 12.9 to SETMA, so we're going to be good. We're going to be below the descent path. We probably could have made it straight in. You can see the vertical path going up above us there. But, again, Telluride at night. We got the gas. Let's take our time, get it on down nice and safe. So we're outbound here. As soon as we level, we'll be able to, we'll cut the turn. We won't go all the way on the outbound leg. We'll cut it short. If you're running active sky, there's tons of turbulence on approach. Uh-oh. Run an X and viral, we'll see. Colin says, if you ever have to put in a really high number like you did with the barrel, you can also click the number in the G1000 and keypad pops up. What? Oh my gosh. That's awesome. I love that. Thank you. That's awesome. Our barrel minimums, yeah, 10,640. We can't even get it that high.
Alpha 2981 radar contact, 20 miles west of page, outside of 3901.
We're going to also request to go away for about 10 minutes.
Alright, report back.
Alright, 102 is our course. There's 1,000 feet to go. I think that's good. Let's go ahead and turn it inbound. I'm going to come all the way left to an intercept heading. About 45 degrees. G1000 HSI makes it really easy. I got my heading here. I no longer need my bearing pointers, so let's go ahead and turn that off. I'll leave the DME on. If I set my heading bug to right about that full-scale deflection mark, nice 45-degree entry here on the G1000. So we got 45 degree, and then we'll nav it back up.
Aircraft transitioning the Buckley airspace at 7,500.
12.5 descending. We're also going to slow all the way to 160. on the. Actually, we're going to slow up even more than that. We're going to come all the way back to like 140 knots while we're level. So you got to slow down before going down in this airplane.
Looking for traffic. 50 Romeo.
Yes, I told the G1000 to fly the course reversal. Yep, that's how we got her to automatically hold. But then we were too high, so we just went heading mode outbound.
American 32. The flight center's offline. Change to advisory.
Forwarded by the CF.
Denver Center, November 2464, uniform still holding for release at La Junta.
Are you looking for release?
Yes,
Whoa.
I'm looking for release.
What's up with that?
Departure time at
102 should be our course. Wait a second. What are you doing to me here? We're getting all jacked up. Let me just reload this here. Select approach. RNP.
Radar contact is lost due to radar coverage. Report after cancellation or missed approach to frequency. Frequency change approved.
Roger, frequency change approved. We'll call with you. .com P57, thanks.
Sky's 5477, turning left heading 240.
Alright, there we go. Reactivated.
240,
Oh, wrong button. Nav. Approach push button armed.
Sky's 5202. The Cheyenne altimeter is 3018.
Setma's at 12.9, so we're okay.
Upper
He gave us 12,000. Whoa, whoa, speed.
Roger, expect that. And number 6
We're
lane.
getting all messed up now. See how fast this can happen? We're Setma inbound. Then you activate leg. There we go. Actually, 130 is probably okay. After Setma inbound, we're down to our minimums of 10.6.
Good afternoon, Denver Center. 1108. Level 340.
I want to get down to our
Left heading 180, intercept the localizer.
altitude
Left
here.
180 to intercept 5477.
Let's get all the way down to 12,000.
1108, Takeoff.
All right, there we go.
Level 340, checking
We're in flight level change just for 100 feet down to 12,000.
Center squawk 6541.
65.
Oh, I reactivated the hold. That's what I did. Thanks, Phantom. Hey, Phantom showed up. What's going on, man? Good to see you here. I can actually see the airport out there already, which is good. Synthetic vision is definitely keeping us a little bit more calm here.
Clear localizer DME echoes.
All right, we need to continue to slow down. Let's just keep working it all the way back. After Setma, we're going to set 10.6 for our minimums.
Clear direct hammer, cross hammer, at or above 8,000.
130 knots, flaps 1, we're looking good. I think we'll go flaps 2.
Cross him at
Lower that nose a little bit. All right, here we go. 095 in 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Clear that off the screen. 095 course. We're looking good. We're setting the inbound now. And we should be descending. But our glide path is still above us, so I think we're below, because he gave us a 12,000 foot, so we are... He vectored us in below the glide path, which is interesting.
5477.
We'll just maintain it for right now. Let's see what happens. I think here it comes. Here comes our glide path, and we're going down to 10.6, 130 knots. Matthew Cox, you're right. One small step in the chain of events. You see, I mean, I was even prepared for this approach, and just you start fumbling around with the GPS. It can happen real fast. Airplane starts turning off in a direction you don't want it to turn. All right, there we go. We're on the glide path. Let's go gear down.
Denver Center, Cessna 3950 Romeo.
Let's switch to Unicom. Telluride traffic.com 357. We're on a 6-mile final, runway 09, Telluride. We're going to stay here in the box. We're looking good. On the glide path down to 10.6. Runway's in sight. All right, I'm going to turn off these additional lights here. so I can see a little bit better. Flaps 3. Keep working that speed back. As soon as we get to minimums, well, we'll keep hand flying it. But look at this synthetic vision. This is so cool. Right down the gorge here. All this red, this is all terrain that's above us. That's all out here. So we are in the heart of the terrain right now. Niels, or Team Vodka, you're streaming my landing from the Telluride runway. That's awesome, man. All right, there's 10.6. We're on the glide path. We're going to keep coming down. Our missed approach altitude is 15,000. So we're going to set 15,000 here. We're approaching VREF. Flaps full. So ref speed was 108. Here comes our minimums. Well, actually, we're 10.6 was our minimum, so we're actually below that. The runway is in sight. We're going to continue. VREF actually seems a little bit low. Minimum, so landing. Autopilot's coming off. Yaw damper off. We're going to hand flyer down. This is talking about the black hole effect here. Oh my goodness. I can't see that. I gotta back my view out a little bit here. This is a black hole effect 2.0. Now, I don't know why there's absolutely no roads around here, but it might be a scenery error. Quartering tailwind, worst case scenario, of course. I just want to land on the runway. This is almost like landing on a carrier right now. Oh boy, there's the mountain. Landing lights illuminating the mountain. I'm going to take her in 3 reds, that's okay. Look at that, rad owl's coming up. Nice turbulence as you come over the cliff. So disorienting. We're down. Spoilers are up. Oh my gosh. That was gnarly. Looks like we got some snow on the runway. Nice and easy on the brakes here. Don't need to kill it. I didn't even see what speed I was when I touched down. We'll take this next turn here. Whoo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Telluride. My heart started pounding on that one a little bit, not gonna lie. Let's clean it up. 181 feet per minute, 39 feet above threshold, 3 feet from center line. Golly, that was nuts. Kill the strobes, kill that. Flaps are up. Wow. Pitch black. There's a little Bravo. We should go park over here by the Bravo. What else we got? We got a snow-covered 320 in there. That's interesting. Good luck getting out. We'll take it over here to the center. Flying Sam says it makes sense how many accidents happen there now. Yeah, you could see why. You know, it's nice and light over here. Let's just park it right over here where the nice light ramp light is. We'll kill the taxi light. We'll spin her around over here. We made it. Park next to this old ATR. That cliff, right? That cliff comes out of nowhere. He says excellent landing. Thanks, man. It was not a butter, but that approach at night, I am 100% happy with that. All right, brakes are set. Let's go ahead and turn on some lights so we can actually see what's going on here. Man, generators coming off. And avionics is, we don't have an avionics switch, which is interesting. Window heats can come offline. Ignitions. And let's kill him. Kill engine 2. And you know what? Let's go ahead and just connect the ground power in use, and we can kill engine 1. Love those spool down sounds, huh? Awesome. Flight Retro says the Phenom seems really well rounded too for a bizjet. It really is, man. Woo, hit the like button for that, guys. Louis says phenomenal landing. Thank you. Imagine your boss staying in the cockpit when that cliff came into view. Oh yeah, no, they're gonna be seated and buckled up for that approach. No exceptions on that one. We'll kill the pneumatics here as well. Everything else can come offline. ECS can come off. I should have shut that off earlier. And hydraulics come down. Fuel pumps off. And battery 2, battery 1. We're on ground power. I guess we can do a full shutdown if we want to, but let's take a look at that replay. I'm curious to see what happens if I replay with the doors open. We'll go ahead and disconnect from the network there. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Vatson. Can you do the replay in daytime and night? I don't think so, because every time I try to adjust it, it just goes right back to dark. So I have tried that, though. Let's see. Let's go here. What I can do, let's go ahead and hit play. Wonder if I can turn off X Enviro. Oh, that doesn't really help. I mean, you can't see anything anyway. Let's just see how we did here with our speed on ref. Don't worry about this over here. But I mean, even if I adjust the time, like, it doesn't let me, you know? Yeah, Luke, this is Xplane 11. IFR cancellation. Yeah, I should have called in real life. Yeah, you definitely want to call when you're on the ground. That's one of those approaches where you call on the ground. You don't cancel before touching down, especially at night. Gleb says, I joined on approach. You've got yourself a new subscriber. Well, thank you, Gleb. Welcome to the channel, man. Since we can't see anything outside, let's analyze our ref speed here. Now, all the videos I see of real Phenom guys landing, and even the demo guy said this, he calls out ref, and that's because, I imagine it's because this airplane is so efficient there, you're coming in, you don't want to float, basically no flare. So if you're over your ref speed, you're really going to start floating down that runway. So you want to be VREF, you know, +1, +2 max probably when you're coming in. Our ref was 108, I think. 107, we're 110, so we're ref +2 as we come over here. If I could turn the lights back on, maybe we can see. Yeah, there's the hill.
500, 400, 300, 200, 100.
And just see how that popped up. Look at the, hold on, watch that real quick. Watch the synthetic vision as we come over this hill. This is crazy. Got the runway in sight there, and then whoop, right over the top of it. Almost smashed her. So that's that black hole effect. I was focusing so much here on the touchdown zone, I forgot to put my eyes out here. In real life, this is a real life technique, and I'll tell you guys in a sim, it'll work too. To get good landings at night, this one wasn't awesome. You want to have your eyes continuously moving between your touchdown spot and the far end of the runway, because when you're in a black hole like this, the only way that you can judge your sink rate, we don't look at our VSI. That's a sim thing trying to get butter. In real life, your eyes are outside looking at the far end of the runway. When your eyes are out here, you can see the peripheral vision, or you can see the lights in your peripheral vision coming up to meet you, which that gives you your sense of sink rate. Now you can see I got a little twitchy there. We're ref minus. Oh, dude, that was pretty good. Right on ref speed. 105 indicated. Does it have our, what was our ref speed? 107. So we're ref -2 on touchdown. A little bit twitchy there on the flare. I got nervous because I was too focused on the touchdown point. So you'll see where I made this adjustment. This is why you don't want to do this. Ideally, we're coming down, eyes down here, far end, near end, far end, near end, far end, and I should be judging my sink rate. I was too busy looking down here, and I almost smashed her into the ground there, but we recovered it. We got her down. Let's look at, I wonder if we can see anything outside. Probably not. Can't even really see anything here. Yeah, you can't even see it touch down. But I'm going to turn X Enviro back on, and then I wonder if we'll see that snow a little bit better when we come over the hills. So, anyway, oh, I should have threw you guys in the replay mode there. My bad. Whew. Flight Retro says for only 32 pounds, it's incredible. I agree, man. Just in time, Flight Simmer, welcome, man. We're just finishing up here. We'll get the music going. There's really nothing to see outside, unfortunately, guys. But I'll let you watch it from the cockpit view here. The runway just slopes away from you to halfway. It does. I mean, you could see why this airport is extremely dangerous. Look at that coming into view right there. There's that hill. That was just so nuts. Coming in right over the hill. That's freaky. Snow-covered terrain. Thank you guys for joining me on this Sunday morning here in Texas, wherever it may be, evening for you. But I appreciate you guys joining the stream, coming along with me as we do a little phenomenal flying here into Telluride with a near nose smash. Whew, we got her down though. Mod sponsors, thank you so much for working, keeping the chat in line, although it's been pretty good lately. Do appreciate all the support from you guys, whether it be comments, interacting in chat. You guys are awesome. If you're watching this video post live stream, leave a comment, your favorite challenging approach. If you're catching this post stream, what's your favorite challenging approach to fly? And maybe I'll take a look at it and we'll do some more here in the sim. But that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Until next time, hope you stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. See ya!